the reason I started this program here is because there is not really hardly at all, other than the little portions on Sunday mornings on some of the contemporary country stations that play traditional country music at all. So I want to start this show to try to bring some of that to this area. And
I think you'll have a lot of appreciative listeners for doing that, and I commend you for keeping it going.
Well, I appreciate that. And so you decided to wait for the day that you could make the album that was really what you wanted to be. But since then, you've continued to play music you love, and you now own your own clinical skincare practice in Nashville. Isn't that right?
Yes, I sure do. I've been doing that for about 10 years. Because I decided after the Decca deal that I wasn't going to put all my eggs in one basket anymore.
Sure.
And music is it's like a little roller coaster, and anybody getting into it knows that. And most musicians that live in Nashville, even if they're studio players, have another job. They've got a day job and a day job. You wear several different hats just to make a living. And
sure.
And I said I love people. I love helping them. And if I can, one of the things I tell people before they leave is they have to give me a hug. That's part of my pay. So, and plus you never know when the last hug, when you're going to get, when that might be your last hug. But
sure.
It's so important with the media, and I think this kind of drove it home after years of being with labels, and you're supposed to look a certain way and act a certain way and be this icon of whatever.
Sure.
In the media, when they're advertising and they're wanting these young girls, everyone thinks you're supposed to be a size 2 and look like Raquel Welch. Life just isn't that way.
No, of course not.
And I want people to have a strong self-esteem and be comfortable inside their skin as well as outside. And so I don't just work on skin. I try to promote being yourself and being happy and just loving life, because it goes by so dang fast.
Wise words to live by. But anyways, a few years back, you released a self-titled album, Don Sears. And would you say this is the album that you've always wanted to make?
Up till that time, yeah. But there's so many songs I'd love to record.
Sure.
And I think that's probably the truer. I'd like to even go more. I wouldn't say that was traditional. That was more personally penned songs, but I would love to do even more traditional album, which I hope to do in the next few months, and
sure,
bring in some of my heroes to sing with me, and hopefully they will.
I played this song earlier this evening. I've actually played a lot from this album here over the last couple days, and Unmitigated Gall, which featured Connie Smith, just a fabulous traditional recording of that tune. Spectacular.
Yeah. And she was so sweet to come and help me sing that, and I've been very blessed to get to know her better, and I've, there's so many sweet people in this world, and I'm just so glad I have the honor to call her a friend. I mean, country music is just full of wonderful, down-to-earth people.
Sure, Marty and Connie are some of the greatest. And they were nice enough to, like you, to come on here and do my radio program, so I'd like to thank them again, as well as you. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, my absolute pleasure.
But I almost forgot to mention that Vince Gill also sings vocals on this album, too, some background vocals. And
yeah.
we'll hear another tune in a little bit of him from that album with you. Fabulous job. And now there's one particular part of your career that I sort of saved here for the end, because it's kind of a big topic, and I thought we maybe could talk just a little bit about it.
Okay.
Now, as many of the listeners know, you are a key member of the famous Time Jumpers, and for those listening who do not know, the Time Jumpers is a band of A-list musicians like the fabulous Don Sears that performs musicians and singers that performs every Monday night at Nashville's legendary Station Inn. But do you think you can tell us a little bit? Tell us who some of the members of the Time Jumpers are and how you all started performing together. Well,
on guitar, there's Andy Reese. On steel guitar, Paul Franklin is the newest member. Of course, we had Papa John Huey on steel guitar until we lost him. Oh gosh, it was almost 2 years ago now. And then on drums, we have Rick Van Aw, bass, Dennis Crouch. We have 3 fiddles, Aubrey Haney, Kenny Sears, and Joe Spivey. And Ranger Doug Green from Riders in the Sky plays rhythm guitar.
Of course, Ranger Doug will be with me here this coming Tuesday on the program.
Awesome.
And
tell him I said hey.
Oh, I will.
He's a little traveler himself. And we got Jeff Taylor on accordion, and Carolyn Martin and myself on vocals. And I think that's everybody. There's 11 of us total.
Yeah, just about everyone, I think, you got there.
And they started in dressing room number 6. They would get together and just have a jam session. And years and years ago, they started, I think, in Hoot Hester's garage. But eventually, they moved into the Station Inn on Monday nights. And the band almost kind of broke up after Hoot left. But then we kind of re-established ourselves and added a couple more players. And it's actually like therapy on Monday nights because most of the guys in the Time Jumpers band play sessions during the day. And when you do sessions, you have to play what the producer wants and,
sure.
and how they want it played. And you don't get a lot of creativity.
You probably have to keep playing it, too, several times.
Yeah,
the same
you
thing.
do several takes. And so Monday night kind of turned into a therapy session where we could play anything we wanted to, sing anything we wanted to, and most everybody in the band loved swing, so it pretty much is a swing meat and potatoes is the baseline of it, but
sure.
Of course there's me in there, so we've got to have some shuffles.
Sure, shuffles, and some jazz and pop and western with Ranger Doug, and...
Yeah, Kenny calls it cowboy jazz, and I think that's an appropriate name.
Sure.
It's really good. But it just kind of all started, and then little by little we added more people, and now we're up to 11. And we were very blessed to last year have been nominated for 2 Grammy nominations.
Congratulations.
One for Sweet Memories and one for Fadoodlin'. That's an instrumental.
In Sweet Memories, you sing the vocals on. We're going to hear that right after the interview. I'm going to play that for everyone.
Yeah, and that's probably been, I was just absolutely floored when I heard we at the end of the whole nomination process that we ended up on the list, and I thought, oh my gosh, I mean that was like getting an award from the Pope or something. I mean,
sure.
We didn't win it, but
you should have.
But I mean, the Eagles beat us out. But hey, it's nice and I'm a big fan of the Eagles.
Sure.
So I was mad at them for like 24 hours, and then I got over it.